Good morning, YouTube, and welcome back to the self-made mega farm. So we got some mulching we're gonna do right now. We're in August, not much else really going on, so I'm not too worried. We'll monitor the prices in a second. Not sure if we're gonna kind of clear out the small field and turn it into a new warehouse space and kind of get possibly our what you want to call it, harvester tucked away, or combine. So we'll see about that. For now, we're gonna get this unfolded. We're gonna mulch this, and while we're here, let's run down any key prices flagged. No, nothing yet. Cheese is on the up. Milk is on the down. We're gonna hold off on that. We got some space to still work with, so, and it's supposed to go back up in October. Other than that, everything's kind of standstill right now on selling. So we'll use the 8R to get this. We've already put slurry. Actually, this field was it manure? No, this field was slurry, right? No, yeah, it was manure. We had to use that manure. That's right. So we'll need some lime. We're gonna figure that out. Like I said, we need to kind of get a station set up for lime, make it a little bit easier to maintain. And this corn, unfortunately, we're just gonna mulch you over. That was an error on the planting with the new versatile planter, which interesting on some of the reviews on that. Some people took it to heart. No, there's not real versatile planters, which I stated in that video, and people still were a little offended by it, apparently. But if you're wondering, it's a mod on Mod Hub, as I stated in the video. It's on the Kinsey planter. I think Chris S. was the modder. I could be wrong, though. I just thought it's funny that some people, it really upset them to see a versatile planter. So, versatile, if you're watching this, I think it's time to come out with a planter. Joking aside, though, we've got a little bit of work to do. Like I said, just kind of mulching this up. And then we will get into probably the next month, because I don't think we're going to have anything else to really focus on. You know, we got a couple months until we have more calves on the way. But ideally, it's either, you know, I've thought about moving a lot of the calves over here. We'd have to kind of reposition some food around too, but with that, they really only need to be on hay. And we get away with hay bales, I think. And keeping them, you know, well fed. But for now, we are going to mulch this just in case we decide to plant. I want to make sure it is ready, with the exception of putting down lime, because lime the last couple times was not cheap. So I'm wondering if I could buy it in bulk and maybe we save some money. I mean, that's the hope. We shall see, though, how that actually plays out. And still haven't forgot about the Landoll, which does it all. It mulches, cultivates, something we should actually think about purchasing. However, the mulcher does do a pretty tremendous job. It just, essentially, the Landoll allows us to do 2 jobs in one, which is, in the end, time saving. Because right now, yes, this piece is a little bit larger, but it just does not save us the time in the long run, because of how the other piece of equipment we have is smaller. So I think I can leave this open and run it down here. I think we can avoid any trees and stuff, I hope. Yeah, I think we can get down through here, which is perfect. I'm just gonna go right into here and start working this over. And like I said, we'll kind of set the seed bed. This side, we're definitely going to be planting more barley. Barley goes pretty well on creating straw, so I'm a big fan. Just wanted to square that off. Is there any other crops you all think we should be planting? Let me know down in the comments. Kind of curious if anybody's seen certain structures we built and said, hey, you know, you should focus more on this crop. You know, obviously soybeans always a cash crop. Sunflower, not too bad now. But we have an oil mill. And then really it just comes down to, you know, we're going to try the cracked corn. Maybe even cornmeal. We might split it 50-50. Just kind of see how they process. Even though cracked corn is, from what I saw, worth more by about $100 per 1,000 liters. So something for us to keep in mind there. I'm hoping, just hoping, you know, at some point we see a harvester before harvest season in full swing. I currently don't see that being lucky. I think the last one was right after the season we saw it, which usually makes sense. I mean, that's probably comparable to real life too. So, not too worried about it. Like I said, these fields are pretty small, so it works pretty fast. I don't know if I will set the seed bed on the other one technically because it does need lime, and I prefer to kind of mix that in after it's sat on top for a little bit. Which I think is kind of how it's done in the real life application. Let me know on that. But I'm pretty sure that's how I've seen it done. I could be wrong and thinking of a different mineral or something being put down. But usually it'll sit on top for a little bit and then they'll work it into the ground. Definitely, like I said, I would like to have, you know, whether we have seed bins or we need some liquid fertilizer tanks now. Which there is a warehouse that has it. I think ICAS made it. Once we finish this up and this is folding, I'll pull it up and kind of show everybody what I'm talking about. Pretty nice. Good size. Allow us to put our harvester away. Possibly 2 harvesters away, which would be nice to get those out of the weather. Because everything else pretty much fits in the sheds we have. We can kind of move things around, shift them, and it all fits. It's just the harvester that's really left out of the situation. But we could always do, you know, an actual seed hopper or bin. Don't really need solid fertilizer anymore. We need something for lime, and then we would need something for liquid fertilizer. Now, I don't know with that warehouse or that shed that allows you to have solid and liquid in it, if you can have multiple things in the solid side. It may only be one, but I could also be wrong. I haven't fully tested it. I just kind of checked out that, you know, you can put seed in it, lime in it. But I kind of started from scratch on each of those, now that I think about it, which was terrible testing on my part. But I think it could work that way. I think we could keep one with lime and one with seed in it, and that would be pretty functional. The price I want to say was up there though. So we're just about done here, so I will show you all what I'm referring to once we start the fold up of this and get the mulcher put away until we are done with the stocks. So that's going that way. We got nothing there. Let's go down to construction. We want, was it in silos? So it's actually 110,000. What does it fill for this? Ooh, so this is my next thing, right? I want this to fit within this room still. What do y'all think? I think that still fits nicely. Obviously, we would have to touch up the land, but it says it holds 1,000,000 liters of whatever we want to put in there. So like I said, you have a liquid side over here, which is good. We still don't have the fiber dashing game, I realize. I still have not put that in. So we need to actually go to Bueller's HIO, or I might already have it in a folder, just not in this game folder, and put that in. But yeah, I think that works. Let's customize. Solar panel. That is interesting. And that kind of fits that, right? And like I said, you can fill up the seed and stuff outside. Not too worried about that. You know, the solar panel is interesting to me. Does that mean we're getting money from it? That's my next question, because I would love to add that. But like I said, large bay in the middle. It should definitely fit the harvester. Then we'd have seed and liquid fert in here, which would be very crucial. So that might be our direction we kind of go. We just also have to have a place in the town that we can collect this stuff a little easier. So we'll think about that when that time comes. But I just want to share with you all. That's something I'm thinking of putting over there. And then, like I said, we might do a little beef monoslope or even a calving monoslope. Just kind of keep the calves off over there for now. I haven't really used any of the calf huts, but I know someone recently mentioned, or not recently, it's been a while since they came out, to either put them along the outside of the fence over here to my left, or move this shrubbery out of here and place them there, which I thought was a little interesting because the sawmill a little loud. We don't really need to clean this off. Probably don't even really need to put it away, but I'm going to. And we'll get 400 hooked up. See if we can pop in on here. We'll get the 400 hooked up to the cultivator. And like I said, we could go for the Landoll. I mean, I'm not against it in the future. I think the amount of money we get from that, from selling those two items, would allow us to take that on. So I'm not going to worry about that one yet because we could be making some changes. But for now, we'll run this over and let's just go down here. We always end up starting in there, then we get kind of jammed up in this corner. So we'll get it unfolding right now. The Sommers. We'll just kind of get this seed bed in place. Now I'm trying to think that little field that needs lime. I thought we recently did it. Maybe it's something to do with the soil, but there's no precision soil map on here yet, so that shouldn't be an issue. Be something for us to kind of keep in mind, I guess. Right up here. But we'll kind of work this. And hopefully something kind of pops up on the market. We actually probably can turn the time up a little bit more. Double it to 10x. And just hope something pops up in the store that we can utilize. If not, we're going to just keep holding on to the money until it's time to either buy a harvester, which could be next month, or this lot that we're currently working. Okay, so we get the field, we got a few spots for the industrial park, but we don't have access to all of this land. And ideally, we could turn this into quite a barley field, or even sorghum, if we connect these two fields and we have access to do so. I'll lift that up, swing it around, and start working. Probably should have started on the inland center of the field instead of the headlands, but oh well. We'll have to roll it all in anyway, so I'm not too worried. Definitely excited, like I said. We're getting closer to Versatile coming out. Some nice size Valderstad planters coming with it. It's just all around a lot of solid equipment for a map that's kind of open and big like this. It's going to be great. I think I'll continue to do this series unless you all recommend down in the comments what we should be doing different. I know there's quite a few people who kind of jumped in Wright County. It's a beautiful map. We have Forest River, I think, is on its way shortly by OS Mapping and Modding. It's another good little map. There's a few out there. I mean, MRG's starting to push them out now, it seems. You know, Ashen Corners is back. And then I think he's got a few other projects that kind of streamlining now. There's a few other, well, DJ. Can't forget DJ. DJ's got Judith Plains coming out. Nice 4X. A lot of detail in that. That'll be one. Definitely well worth using versatile equipment on. Even though I think Montana's mostly John Deere now. Just something for us to keep in mind. I should look at what the price of this is. And the price of that horse mulcher. And if we sold both, would it be enough? I think we've already figured this out. But I think they would maybe even make us a little money. Like I said, we're just going to do this field because ideally I would like to get that shop in there. We definitely need to add the fiber dash. Or at least have something that we can haul. Some kind of tender that we can haul liquid for and seed in and possibly even lime. Lime, I guess we could kind of. Oh yeah, Lime we could still do in a tender truck, but I was thinking that is one that worst case scenario we just have it go back and forth to our fill point. Hopefully it won't pop up on the audio and the video, but we're getting quite a rainstorm up here in the northeast right now. But we're doing pretty quick work of this. Still nothing new popping up in there. Not surprised. Swing that around. I really should pick that up on that side like I've been doing on the roadside. Just so we don't break anything, but hey. It is what it is. So what I'll do though is I'm gonna finish up this. And I will catch up with y'all in a bit. Well, as you can see, we decided to part ways with the summer cultivator and I should say disc harrow and horse mulcher. We now have a Landoll. We made a couple extra bucks off of it. I think in the end we made 6 to 7 grand. And this is kind of the one do it all. Yeah, obviously it's not as quick mulching as what the mulcher that we got from horse was because it was bigger, but our summers is pretty identical in size. I think both are 10.1 meters, so it works, and we already have all the equipment that can pull it. So yeah, we got that, and then kind of looking around still at harvesters. Haven't really seen anything that has stood out to me as something we could go with yet. I mean, they're all going to cost us about 300 grand, and that's not counting the headers that'll run another 100. So, like I said, we got to definitely be around 500 for those to even really be a discussion. I'm going to park this, and this will probably actually be a short episode because we don't really have much more to do in August. We could sell some of our sawmill productions, but other than that, there's not a lot on the table. So I think that's what we're going to do is call it an episode here. We got a little stuff done. This is more just one of those fill-in episodes. We got our Thunder Creek repair trailer. It can also carry some diesel for us out here, which is nice because we sold the previous one that kind of had it all without the mechanic side of it. So yeah, that's gonna do it for today. Till next time, Runner Taz out.